I guess I'm becoming a YouTuber. This is the vagina. This is the vagina and the ending of the world. Colon, starting my YouTube career. Get to know me, get ready with me. Who am I? Just a Chinatown kid trying to make it in Toronto, trying to be a YouTuber. Yeah, it's me, Hanya. Wow. My name is Hanya. I'm 24 years old. I go by any pronoun. I am born and bred Toronto City kid. I've been in this room my whole life. Even if you go back to my YouTube video, like my first YouTube video is amazing. It's one of my favorite things I've ever created in my life. And it's in this room, translating this bedroom energy and my comfort in this space through the screen. So I guess I'm gonna put on some makeup. Definitely like does something, you know? I also haven't gotten a haircut in... I think I'm gonna grow out my hair. It makes sense that I'm starting my YouTube career as I'm growing out my hair. It's serendipitous. I'll have had this weird like corn silk for 3 years. And I used to have really long hair. Like some of the videos on this channel have me with really long hair. And I don't know, I think as when you're socialized as a woman or femme, a lot of your identity is tied to your hair, which is weird. And hair is magical. Hair does something. People, I don't even know what it is, but it's like a weapon. I needed to lose it to know what it's like to, you know, not depend on it, to grow it back, and then to fully own that shit. I grew up without cable. I have always been on YouTube. I actually love YouTube so much. That's why I feel like this is something I want to do. I think YouTube really is the platform for Asian representation. Every time I watch YouTubers, I'm like, I could do this. I could make, not the same content, but I could take up space. I have this mentality where it's like, oh, if they can do it, I can do it. I think that type of self-determination and agency is awesome. I started off by watching, you guessed it, a YouTube video of like a dance crew, and I was like, I'm gonna become a dancer. I watched this video and I was like, that's it. I know what I'm gonna dedicate the next whatever part of my life to. So then I stormed upstairs and I was like, Mom, like I'm gonna become a dancer. And she was obviously like, no. But I'm not a person that gives up easily because I inherited my mother's stubbornness. I bothered my parents nonstop about it until they enrolled me in a hip-hop class. And lo and behold, the teacher of this hip-hop class was Addie fucking Chan. Addie Chan was the first person in my life that was Asian, female, and just so charismatic. There was no doubt moving forward from that moment. I think it's really important to pay that forward in whatever capacity that I can. I'm like very active in the Toronto, I like to call it the cultural underbelly. Very queer, it's very racialized. More in the performance arts side of things. As someone who's just had the privilege of locality, of being in this literal room my whole life, as well as just being born and raised in the city and being exposed to things very early on. I didn't go to post-secondary. I barely graduated high school. It took me 6 years to graduate. The concept of school was created during the Industrial Revolution to create workers and factory workers. It's not catered to free thinking and critical thinking and different forms of intelligence. I have a deep-seated insecurity about my intelligence. But I've also, you know, it's been 4 years and I have spent quite some time unlearning that and just being confident in who I am. As of last year, actually, I opened with some friends a community art space in Chinatown. Chinatown has always been the backdrop of my life. There's never a question of whether Chinatown is there or not. It just is. It's like a given. It's like when you live and breathe something, you're not really conscious of it. It's just, it is. It's been a really big adventure. So my life is preoccupied with, I guess like running an art space, which is just a bunch of young people being like, I don't know, like we want and need community. We want to explore our cultural heritage, but also have a safe space to express our identities. And then the other part of my life is being like an active artist that makes, produces, and consumes and participates and supports that community. I also have a part-time job as a wonton maker. It's been on pause since the pandemic, and now I'm becoming a YouTuber. I've been thinking about becoming a YouTuber for God knows how long. It's probably important to be able to look back on this in 30 years. Kind of like in high school, I had an obsession with film photography, and so now I have this shoebox filled to the brim of essentially my high school career documented in film photos. And I'm so grateful that I did that. So this is kind of my now, I guess, like second iteration. Boom, words. It's the second iteration of that archiving. There's this quote, it's so good. Grace Lee Boggs, I'm reading this book right now. Build community because community is the most important thing that has been destroyed by the dominant culture. As a result of urbanization, globalization, and rapidly changing technology, the whole world is now in the midst of a social crisis. And so I'm really invested in community. I think we really lack that. YouTube co-ops community. It is a form of community, but there's a difference when you have a physical space that you're based out of and people come in and out and exist and interact with this physical space. And that is what we're missing because everything's on the internet now. Community is something that has changed my life that I didn't know that I needed. And I want to use YouTube as a way to share, the type of work and love that gets put into this stuff. I'm very excited, and that this journey together is going to capture the growth of my hair. To end this off, you can expect 2 to 3 videos a month. That's what I'm committing to, and that's how I want to go about doing this, as a fun curiosity, self-reflection tool to document and archive my story and my community for me and by me, with you. Come here. Give me a hug. Come here. Thanks for getting to know me while getting ready with me. So I got a new mic, and I really didn't like my inflections in this clip, but what I say is, make sure to smash the 5,000 years of patriarchy, and if you give me clout, I promise to be responsible with it. So this is my finished look. Wow.